After missing 5 games with general knee swelling, LeBron James returned to the Lakers lineup over the weekend to lead his team to a come-from-behind victory over the Knicks in overtime. In just under 40 minutes of action, he finished with 29 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists, recording the 103rd triple-double of his career. It was more than just the numbers, as James had plenty of bounce in his step. James led the charge for the Lakers, who, despite trailing by as many as 21 points in the first half, were able to earn a much-needed win after losing 4 of the 5 games. James missed with his knee injury, where the Purple and Gold dropped down to 9th in the Western Conference standings. As a result, probably not where they thought they'd be at this point of the season. By this point, we all thought the Lakers would be fighting for one of the top 3 spots in the Western Conference or trying to lock up home court advantage. But call it the LeBron James effect. The Lakers are now a respectable 20-17 when James is in the lineup this season, but are just 6-11 when he is absent. That highlights his value as the player who holds things together and covers most of the team's holes. Injuries have become more of an occurrence of late, and LA's dependence is a little too much on the 37-year-old James in his 19th season is exactly why the team is in search of answers ahead of the NBA's trade deadline. This team's deficiencies look to be too much to overcome for LA to have any semblance of postseason success. As important as it was that the Lakers were able to come back and get a win, it should be of bigger concern that they fell behind by 21 to a Knicks team that is struggling to find its identity after a successful run last season. The Lakers also had a meltdown where they blew a 7-point lead with 90 seconds remaining, and their inability to close out games still haunts this team despite winning over the weekend. And while the Lakers can find encouragement in the play of Anthony Davis and Malik Monk, the struggles of Russell Westbrook continued. He scored just 5 points on 1 for 10 shooting, and James's return and was relegated to the bench for the entire overtime period. With some of Westbrook's best games coming in James's absence, head coach Frank Vogel will have to find a way to manipulate his rotation to get the most out of the third member of the Big Three. Then again, by this point, we expected for the Lakers to have full chemistry with Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Russell Westbrook, and at least be running away with the West. LeBron's presence might help most of the team's problems, but the Lakers' narrow victory over the Knicks serves as a reminder that one player can fix, but only so much. Now that James is back and Davis is also healthy, perhaps the Lakers will begin to ascend in the standings over back end of the season. The win over the Knicks was a solid start, but don't expect the Lakers to finish anywhere near the top 5, as they will finish near the top 7th or 8th seed.